We are recording, and I see a little time button going up, so I didn't forget to
Ooh,
do that this time.
nice.
Already confirmed that everybody can hear everything, so I'll get into it. Welcome everyone who ever watches this, which is like a whole two of you, but I appreciate every single one of you. This is Raw Talkin' It, episode 0-2, Electric Boogaloo, the one and only time we get to use Electric Boogaloo. Because if I do it again, then I'm just pandering. So, for those who don't know, my name is Andrew. I go by Titus online. I'm joined by one of my bestest friends, possibly Joe, aka Guy Who Talks Too Much. Say hi, Joe, because they can hear you now.
Hello, you can actually hear me now.
Let's go! 30 minutes in! We're already winning. And this is just a thing that Joe and I decided to do because we were bored in quarantine and wanted to talk, and we like video games, and we're semi-smart human beings? Kind of? You're smart. I'm stupid. And
You said it, not me.
we already know it. I fake it till I make it. It doesn't really matter. And this is us, you know. So we're playing World of Final Fantasy. Great game. This is our second run through, and we're just kind of talking over it and seeing what we got. So we ended. Actually, I did want to kind of. There's a bunch of things that I actually want to get to, but we ended. One of the last things I remember talking about was talking about Portal, and like how it was like this big game for the puzzle genre, you know.
Right, we were talking about good puzzle games.
And it got me thinking, like, what is a game? Like, if I say a genre, what game immediately pops into your head is like, that is my defining game of this genre. So
Yeah, okay.
So if I say adventure game, what's the first thing that pops into your head is like the adventure game?
Uh, Combination Skyrim, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so yeah, that is immediately my first thought as well. It's like when I hear
That's why it wasn't showing up. You needed Stroll.
yeah, that's why. I just remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my first thought, and I was thinking about this. It was like, you know, when I hear adventure game, immediately I think Zelda. Like that is
Yeah.
the defining thing of an adventure game.
And Breath of the Wild is recent, and it is also like probably the most adventure-y one because it really is just like do whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, yeah, just go. But I think Skyrim also.
Yeah,
Similar vibes.
Skyrim is adventure RPG. Really, it's way more
Yeah.
RPG than Zelda is.
True.
So, but yeah, I could see like if we wanted to really get into like subgenres, adventure RPG, Skyrim, Fallout, those types of things, like immediately, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, open world games lend themselves like I think you can definitely have an adventure game that's not an open world, but I don't know, the open world aspect or just a big world I think is pretty important.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it doesn't have to be open. I wouldn't call Twilight Princess an open world game at all, but I would say it has a big world.
That's a good distinction, I think, because it's not vastly huge, and I can do whatever I want whenever I want. But it is a big damn world that gets unlocked by the end of the game.
Right. Whereas there are plenty of games where you're ostensibly going on an adventure, but you're not like
Yeah.
Eternal Sonata has plenty of cool set pieces, but like
And a fairly big world, but it's pretty like
you're pretty much on rails.
yeah, you're on rails for a pretty significant amount, pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
You could backtrack a little bit, but there's nothing really to backtrack to.
There really isn't. That was one of the things. I think in New Game Plus you get the ability to backtrack more, but even still, there's not much to see, frankly.
I mean, we're not getting any enemies, and I have a lure jewel on, which is kind of crazy.
Don't worry about it. It's not like you need a ton of levels.
Right, but I want to get the little guy leveled up. He's so cute.
I will say I don't have a good answer for what's the definitive puzzle game because I think that one you need some subgenres.
Like that one's really hard to like really define. But if someone asks you, what's a really good puzzle game that I should play? Most people are gonna be like Portal. Play Portal. They're great.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that would be definitely I'd call that puzzle platformer. And
Right.
I think that's
I guess
very
that's true.
fair
Yeah.
And it's still a puzzle game. It's still a very good one. So like I have no qualms with saying that, but I would put it in the puzzle platformer genre.
Rather than, and then there's there's puzzle games that are literally walk up to said puzzle, do said puzzle, like The Witness.
Well, or just like games that are just sequences of puzzles, right?
Right.
Baba Is You is that way. There's a map, but it's just a level select screen. That's all it is, and you don't even have to do them in a particular order.
And so, of course, we all know the genre for platformers, the go-to Mario games. I mean, hands down.
Yeah, and I would pick, if I had to, Odyssey just to me is. It has so much more content than some of the previous Mario games.
really
They're
does.
all good, but like, yeah, if someone's like, I never owned a Nintendo console, but I really want to play. I've never actually played one of the classic Mario games, even though I've heard them talk about so much. I would definitely point them to Odyssey first. If we get remasters, that might change a little. Like if we got a Switch remaster
Does
this
it
year,
though?
that's
I
a
mean,
big
like-
rumor. I would probably still say Odyssey first.
Odyssey's really good.
But I would then probably follow it up with Super Mario 64, frankly. And then, whereas no remasters, I'd probably point them to Sunshine or Galaxy next. Probably Galaxy because it's the most available to play. But that's a different part of the recommendation, right? What is available and what is all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's interesting because then we get into like some different territory because you have Metroidvania games and like some people will say Metroid is like the Metroidvania game. My personal opinion for Metroidvania, what I think of immediately is, Mega Man games are kind of Metroidvania, but Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, because it's the first one I ever played, and a lot of people will say it's like one of the best ever out there. I don't know how many Metroid-like games you've played.
I have technically played some Mega Man.
Like the originals, the
I
OGs?
have some of them. There's like a bazillion of them.
There is a bunch of them, yeah.
I have played some of them on various virtual console. I think I have one or two on the Wii or Wii U.
But, I mean, are they technically Metroidvanias, or are they platform shooters, actually?
I think they're 2D platformers. The shooting is just an aspect of
Because you get upgrades and stuff, but not... Those are just power upgrades to do more damage. They're not necessarily to traverse the world.
Yeah, but like almost every platforming game, almost all of them aren't pure platforming.
Yeah.
Metroidvania though definitely has combat involved, right? Like
Yeah.
Metroidvania has that. So I don't know.
It's
I
about
have not played...
dodging and making sure that you and whittling them down and all that stuff.
Yeah, Metroidvania. I don't know. Probably Castlevania, Metroid. I don't know. I have never played. I've played 20 minutes of Metroid Prime, and I have played no other Metroid games, and I have played no other Castlevania games. I'm sure if I booted up my Steam library now, I've played something that probably qualifies, but like,
I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's. It's definitely a hard genre to play. Like
it's also a genre that not a ton of people make games for anymore.
That's true. They are. I mean, Bloodstained is the closest one we've gotten in a while. So
yeah, I don't.
There's been a couple that have come out recently in the indie showcase and stuff, but they're not. It's I don't know. And then we get into like, what is like an action game, and that's a hard genre to
with
define.
guns or without guns.
Yeah, like that's a really hard genre. Do we split up action into first-person shooters and then third-person games and then do all that? I mean, like how do you split up just the action genre?
Dude.
Because that's
I don't even know.
That's encompassing. For me, like when I think action game, a game that has a shit ton of action and you're always doing something and you're killing baddies all the time. My personal thought is Devil May Cry. Like I'm immediately like Devil May Cry 3 specifically. That game is incredible.
Yeah. If you're gonna do full 3D action game, yeah, I think Devil May Cry is probably a good choice. I'm trying to think of other hacky slashy games I've played or seen played. I've obviously played Astral Chain recently, but I don't think that's the one. It's definitely an action game.
Yeah, but it's like
I would say that's an action game and nothing else.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find those sometimes because like Devil May Cry is very much an action game where you just get new weapons to do new combos to be flashier. Like that's how you break down Devil May Cry.
Yeah, and that's in Bayonetta, and those are all of these Platinum. Do they do Devil May Cry, or is that Capcom? Or am I wrong?
Capcom did Devil May Cry.
Okay, at least I knew that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pure action games. Yeah, basically anything Platinum makes.
Yeah.
There are plenty of isometric hack and slash games.
Yeah.
Bastion Transistor come to mind.
Oh yeah, Bastion's really good. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is definitely just an action. That's kind of like an action RPG because you kind of level up your stuff, but it's not like focused on your stats. It's more your weapons.
You don't have you just unlock new weapons. That's it.
Right, but you
Like,
go to the training
no.
mode and that unlocks stuff, doesn't it?
I don't think you. It's been a long time since I've played Bastion. I don't
Like-
think you unlock anything other than just
in the same sentence.
new weapons.
Damn, I haven't
you,
played-
you unlock the difficulty modes. That's about it. I think.
I haven't played Bastion in like 10 years. I feel
Yeah, it's
since we've been in college.
probably not 10 years because they just had their 10-year anniversary. So
It feels like 10 years, but it's been since we moved into the house, and that's been probably
we played it. Yeah, we played
Yeah.
it not long after it came out. It was the
Yeah.
only game they had when I played it for
Yeah,
sure.
because you said it was awesome, and I bought it like when it went on a Steam sale, like the winter sale or something. I was like,
I think I got it. I think I got it for a humble bundle, so it was like $1 or something.
Like, this game is incredible. Holy crap, it's so good. The narrator is incredible. The aesthetic is incredible. It's a great action game. When you like think of something from the action genre, that's a great one.
I'm sad I never convinced you to play Transistor.
I tried it, and it didn't click for some reason.
I don't think you got as far.
I didn't get very far at all.
There's the big thing with Transistor was you have these abilities that you equip to yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
And the big thing was that you can combine those abilities. So for example,
Well, that's kind
I
of
think you had 2 slots and there were up to like 10 different abilities you could get,
Like
but you would
Materia.
equip 2. Yeah, but it was more like
yeah.
so imagine one skill was a grenade. You throw a bomb and it blows up. And then imagine you had another skill which made a bunch of little landmines around you. If you then equip them in the same slot, it was like you throw a grenade and then it splits apart and becomes a bunch of other grenades. Or they had one where it was like a dash, where it wasn't an attack or anything, or it did very weak damage. But then if you equipped a skill, if you equipped that same grenade skill, it would like leave grenades along the path that you dashed. That sort of stuff. That's how the ability stuff worked in that one, and it was very fun in that respect.
That sounds pretty cool,
Is-
though. So maybe I should give
Yeah.
it a try. I mean, they make great games. I really probably should because the stuff
Yeah.
they do is just awesome.
It's got a wonderful narrative again. Music's wonderful.
Yeah. Music is
Ashley
always
Barrett
wonderful.
voices the main character. Well, she doesn't talk much; she hums though. That was a fun, silly mechanic they did. Was at any point in the game, the main character is a singer,
Oh,
and so
okay.
at any point in the game, you can just stop and you can hit one of the like various unused buttons, like Control or Shift or whatever, and she would start humming, and she'll start humming along with the music.
That's kind of cool.
And so when they released the soundtrack, they released a full soundtrack, and then they released another one which was just with all the humming and stuff.
That's a
It was
big.
just a fun.
That's a
really
big Wolfie boy.
That's your first XL Mirage.
I won't hold
I already have this one, don't I?
Let's do this.
I
You
sure
should
do.
because you have to do this fight.
Oh yeah, you do.
It's the first XL Mirage, I think. It doesn't look that big.
It's not very big.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, of course, when people say RPG, you get into a huge discussion of, well, what kind of RPG are we talking about here? It's like, that's
Yeah,
That wasn't so bad.
I might frankly also just say Skyrim for RPG. as
Okay, so
well.
that's funny because I was actually thinking the same thing.
I don't. Yeah, it's also one of the more. It's good. It definitely is an RPG. It's accessible. Like, it defines the genre, and I think what makes Skyrim feel that way is the fact that not only do you just level up and improve stats, and also have equipable custom armor and that
You
sort
have
of
the
thing.
skill tree and all that stuff.
But it's not just a skill tree. It's a skill tree that's based on what you use, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
it actually worked out because in other games that's done that, cough cough, Final Fantasy 2, it doesn't work out so well. it's a very broken mechanic, and not to be fair, you can break Skyrim, but that's kind of part of the fun.
I actually kind of have wanted to revisit Skyrim at some point.
I revisited a while back when I got it on PC, and it's just as fun as you remember. But after a while, you're kind of like, okay, I had my fill. I killed a couple giants and stuff, and I killed some dragons, and now I'm done. You know, I got my.
If I revisited it, it would be to definitely do a totally different style of play. I did like two-handed weapons, and so I would probably do
I guess
basically
we'll have to
full
get it all
magic
at
class
once.
and do something really interesting there.
I did when I did mine. I did a summoner, and I would just sit back and watch my elementals fight for me, and it was fantastic.
That's what Jaden's roommate did back in college, and I was like, "Are you having fun?
Oh yeah,
You're
because
You're just watching."
I also got my sneak skill up, so I would have my Daedric princes fight for me, and then I just hide in the back and shoot people with an arrow. And I'm like, this is hilarious. I
She
love
would
this.
just sit there. She would just run away until the fight was done. It was great.
Oh, that's boring. No,
At the time, I gave her a lot of shit, but nowadays I'm like, that would be kind of fun. I wouldn't mind trying that out.
It is kind of fun to like treat it as like a betting thing where you're like, who's gonna win, my princes or that dragon? I don't know. It's looking kind of bad.
I will say I did open my Steam library, and if I had to say the defining puzzle game, it might be Myst.
That's true. That's a good point.
Not only a big deal, but also like
That's a
important.
really good point. We can wrap around to Mist again. My God.
know.
Yeah, as like a defining, not only it did it define a lot of stuff for the genre, but it did. I'm going the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good puzzle game. There's a lot of stuff you got to do, and it really there's like no direction at all. It's just
Well, and I think what makes a good puzzle game too is that you have to be, if you just sit there and think about it, you figure it out, right? Like
Right.
there is, I think, with any puzzle game, there's a certain amount of like, you don't have to be a brainiac or whatever, but like you have to like puzzle games and be good at solving puzzles. But I think what makes a good puzzle game is if you are somebody who is good at solving puzzles, you get to puzzles which are hard to solve at first, and then you can figure it out.
Yeah,
I agree. And that's one complaint. As I've played more Baba Is You, especially the last couple nights, there have definitely been some puzzles where I've just like I needed a hint. Like there was just no way I was going to get it on my own. And that said, these puzzles, to beat Baba Is You, which I technically still haven't done, you do not need to beat. You need to beat a fraction of the levels. Like it's not a big deal.
Oh, interesting.
Like every world has 20 puzzles or whatever, some finite number. To clear the world, for the most part, you only need to beat like half those levels. And you can pick and choose. There's a little bit of an unlocking as you solve more. You unlock the puzzles that are adjacent to it on the little selection screen, but you don't have to beat all of them by any means. However, I have been actively beating every single puzzle of every world before I move on. Yeah, it is, and definitely there's some of these puzzles that are stupid hard, and I don't know. That's why I have got to the point where also I hadn't played in several months and picked it back up. Where okay, I'm just gonna get hints every now and then, and that's okay too. Like I'm gonna play this game in the way I enjoy it most, and that means if I spend an hour staring at a puzzle, I'm gonna get a hint, and then I'm gonna figure it out.
And so now the fun part, because I used to play a lot of shooters back in the day, but I have kind of died down on shooters. When someone asks, what first-person shooter game should I play? I want to know your opinion first, because I have an idea in mind what people should play and experience.
Well, but that's what they should play, and what is the definitive shooter game are probably not. They're not necessarily the same thing.
I guess that's true.
First person.
I'm saying, like,
shooter.
to you, what is that definitive thing? Not necessarily like the overarching, but to you,
Sure.
like, what embodies a really good first-person shooter game?
Rain, do you hear something?
Probably Borderlands 2.
Borderlands 2 is really good. It's a very shooter RPG.
If you want to shoot stuff, That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I will not say Mass Effect, because Mass Effect has so much other things that are not shooting.
Yeah,
Like-
it has a lot in it.
It's a lot of talky. Like,
Yeah.
and that
It's
if you want a
it's
shooter
very
game-
RPG heavy rather than like
Right.
Borderlands is very shoot heavy with some RPG elements. Mass Effect is
Yeah.
the flip flop.
Yeah, Mass Effect, you can have an entire play session where you don't shoot a thing.
You can throw
And
a lot
that's-
of
and
grenades
that's
though.
fine. No, I'm saying like you can spend an entire play session wandering around your ship talking to people,
Oh, that's pretty
or going to a hub world and accepting side quests, and all of that's fine. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't make it the quintessential shooter game.
Yeah. So, for me personally, if you want to talk about like just first-person shooters that I think are really good and you should play, I'm gonna say Overwatch. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean,
Overwatch
if,
is great.
if you allow for the multiplayer competitive thing, then yes.
Yeah.
My mind usually goes to single player, but yeah, if you open that window, then I think Overwatch is.
It's such a phenomenal game. It still has a life. It wasn't abandoned. It's not pay heavy. You pay for it once, and that was it. And like, oh, it's so good. It's Tifa in her hat.
Having just seen Final Fantasy VII R played for the first time recently,
Seeing her in
I
a cowboy
definitely
hat
don't-
and boots.
I just assumed I didn't get it, and I still don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little strange. It's a little weird for her to be like that.
Weird design choice.
We just kind of ignore it and we move on with our lives because
Is
that's...
it from later in the game? Does she ever wear an outfit like that?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Not that I
I
ever
just assumed
remember.
that later in
Like,
Final Fantasy
her-
VII she had a cowboy outfit.
Her thing is definitely like you have the white tube top or tank top or whatever you want to fucking call it with her straps and shorts, and then you have the Advent Children, which is like this big long cloak thing that she has with like athletic shorts on, and
Sure.
honestly it's that one's probably my favorite of her costumes because she looks like a badass in that costume. Oh yeah, we got more of our stuff. Oh, now we can do where we can morph into our champions and we can actually play as our champions.
Yes, and that was a Maxima thing.
Yes. Oh, thank goodness, because
You still retain your level, but yes.
we're gonna play as our champions now instead because that sounds way more fun.
I did that. I think one of the ones you either first get from the girl in the tea room or you get it from the
You're talking
story.
like Warrior Light.
No, there's
Oh.
one that's different. I'm not even. I have no idea what he's from.
Interesting.
I think you need to go buy it from the girl in the tea room. That's
All right,
what.
so
you
we'll go back to the girl in the tea room as soon as we can.
Maxima gives you like double
Wonder what her master
double armor jewels, and you have like twice as much stuff to buy now because there's
Baller.
the medals and
You can
the
also
gems.
farm them in the Coliseum now as well. So
Yeah.
I think maybe.
yeah,
Not
I got
100%
a notification
sure
when I logged
What's
in
that
that you
little
can.
ball of light? Is that an item?
I have no idea.
I don't remember that.
That's a Mako reactor, by the way. This is all Final
Yeah.
Fantasy
Oh,
VII
yeah.
stuff,
This is. I'm actually curious to see you play this because now that I've seen 7R played, I'm gonna like.
which I still haven't played yet,
understand things.
which is crazy.
Dude,
Which is
it's-
now
I mean,
also a
I
very
kind of want to play it.
it's a very action RPG rather than what it was
Oh
before.
yeah.
It's
Oh
now
yeah,
like
but it's
all action.
so fucking pretty.
It is really pretty, but man, I'm sad.
Oh,
I love the turn-based
so
style,
pretty.
and it goes heavy duty on being that action thing because that's like it appeals to the Western audience a lot more. Which
So pretty.
I understand, I guess it is
The
what it
slow
is.
mo is just gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll play it
Oh my
eventually.
god. Because you still access things through a menu while you're fighting, and when you're in the menus, time slows down. Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
And the music, oh.
Yeah,
Again,
music-
I didn't play it. You just go through the gate. You can go right. to
Did
the girl with
Nabua do the music for that game?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay,
I
good.
think he did the arrangements. I mean, they're all his melodies.
Yeah, they are.
just rearranged everything.
They should be his melodies at least, because that would be really dumb if it wasn't.
Some of them are dramatically changed.
Yeah,
but
I
they're
could,
still good.
I could see that. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the girl in the tea room. So I think it'd be more fun because it would actually give us a crap ton to talk about. Is trying to tackle a little bit of a billion RPG
Subgenre.
sub-genres that we have. And we can get 2 of them out of the gate pretty quickly.
Well, I'll look up a list of RPG subgenres to at least keep us on the rails.
Oh, that's helpful because
So here's the Wikipedia article on role-playing video games.
we're gonna go off the
and
rails very quickly.
They have 8 subgenres.
That's not bad.
First-
That's not bad.
First, go to the girl in the tea room.
All right.
Let's get this out of the way. I need to show you the one that in particular I really liked. I don't know how useful he will be with... Well, no, I know I used him for a long time.
What now?
But yeah, you probably have some missions to do with her too.
I do.
But do trade Arma Gems for the moment.
Tifa's champion medal and champion
No,
jewel.
it's none of those. Let me find... Okay. Now I gotta look it up.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, I got Tifa and the Warrior of Light, but I could probably start doing this stuff, I guess, right?
I'm gonna look up...
Can I do that one? It seems difficult, but I can do this one real quick, at least. This one will be very quick.
I don't think this guy has a medal. I think he only has a jewel.
Interesting. Maybe I already have it then, I just haven't looked at my jewels yet.
It is possible, because I think he's like a gimme. Let me look.
It's all good.
Therian.
I don't know who that is. Therian. The name sounds familiar.
Collect all 5 old journalists.
Maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll see it when I.
Maybe you don't get it right away.
Maybe I'll think about it when I see him. All right, so let's tackle these RPGs.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna look at these real fast.
Because this sounds like a hoot and a half.
Wait, the Honeybee Inn is in World of Final Fantasy?
Probably.
Good job.
I don't see why not. It's a big Final Fantasy thing.
I just don't remember it. I don't remember it coming up.
Maybe you didn't know about it. Maybe it's in one of the missions.
I actually think that you can find almost you get this particular champion jewel for Firion by going to finding some things in some specific locations, and one's in Cornelia, where you've already been. One is in Saronia Harbor, where you've been. One is in Agarthere, which is the town you just went into.
I think I've
There's
probably
one
fine.
in the Colosseum, and then there's one that's in Nibelheim, which I remember, but I don't remember where that is, because it's before Tometown.
Yeah, we can look here in a minute. Not too worried about it. Oh, I gotta message you too.
Nibelheim is also in this region. It's where you go. It's where you're going to go see Tifa.
Yeah.
So yeah, with a little bit of fast travel, you can get this gem that I talked about. And the reason it's good is it gives you like a mini Ultima.
Oh, that's kind of good.
Like, which in addition to your flare, like it's just a good combo.
That's pretty good.
So, anyways, role-playing subgenres. First is action RPG.
Action RPG.
Action RPG, and I'm gonna try to read. Let's give us directly controlling the player in real time. Strong focus on combat and action, with plot and character interaction kept to a minimum. It actually cites 2 series, Dragon Slayer and the first East games.
East games are awesome.
As some of the first action RPGs. It categorizes Zelda games as action adventure RPGs. Zelda's hard to classify, frankly. It's just a hard series to classify, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So I don't think that's...
It is.
I don't think that's necessarily wrong. I don't think it's maybe the most accurate definition.
I
but
would
don't think
say
it's wrong.
Breath of the Wild is definitely really action RPG. But the rest of them?
I don't know about RPG, but it says later ones have everything from open worlds and non-linear gameplays to all sorts of things.
I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. That's
Oh,
weird.
Diablo is referenced.
God, I love Diablo. Oh my jeez. Yes, please. Diablo 3.
It does.
Play it.
It
It's
says
so good.
in this. It does say in this subgenre is role-playing shooters, and it mentions Mass Effect, Borderlands.
Okay.
and
Yeah, I could see
something
Mass
I've never
Effect
heard
being
of.
a very actiony RPG.
Yeah,
You missed
I
a
think yeah,
spicy
this
nemes-
one's
oh,
hard,
shit, my bad.
and frankly, I don't see a ton of. This one actually doesn't just like list a bunch. Let's see. Oh, there's a whole article.
I say so for me because you mentioned it. Diablo 3 is like my go-to for an action RPG. I love those games. They're fantastic. I really hope Diablo 4 is good, even though we all have phones. I mean, the way they handled it was bad. It was very, very bad. But damn, I love Diablo 3. I mean, like Path of Exile is a huge free-to-play game that is not exactly like, but it's kind of like Diablo in a sense. And so, and Torchlight 3, which is getting some
Torchlight
negative-
is referenced.
getting some negative press right now for being a mobile free-to-play type game, paying $30 for. Those games are fun. Minecraft Dungeons just came out. It's pretty similar. So I mean, but out of
I
all
see
of them,
Deus Ex shows up.
Deus Ex also, yeah, very, very action.
Yeah.
So yeah, my vote would definitely be Diablo because
I think that's fair.
I love those games.
Let's see. The next subgenre is first-person party-based RPG, and this gets like 3 whole sentences.
First
Um,
person party based?
The only title here I recognize is Legend of Grimrock,
Ugh.
which is a dungeon crawler.
Ugh.
And hey, I'm a fan of Legend of Grimrock, though I do need to maybe finish it one of these days. That game's freaking hard.
Dude. That's funny. That brings
Tyler
back-
played Grimrock.
Yeah, he did.
I think he played both of them and beat both of them. Grimrock, I also was trying to like 100% it. That game is hard.
That's funny.
Straight up. That game is difficult.
Yeah.
Especially in getting all the secrets and stuff are very crazy.
See, I gotta be honest. I didn't expect this to be a subgenre that people really considered because I didn't think there'd be that many games for this.
It says so the first sentence of is this subgenre consists of RPGs where the player leads a party of adventurers in a first-person perspective, typically through a dungeon or labyrinth in a grid-based environment. Which I had heard referred to as basically dungeon crawler. We got references to Wizardry, Might and Magic, Bard's Tale, Etrian Odyssey, Elminage.
I've heard of Bard's Tale.
I've heard of Etrian Odyssey. That's a Nintendo title.
Interesting.
Um,
I actually can't say I've played those, so I really can't speak about it. Which is
And then I've got something called Dungeon Master, Legend of Grimrock, and Eye of the Beholder. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna slide past that one.
yeah, I agree. We're gonna strategically maneuver around that one.
The next subgenre is MMORPGs.
MMORPGs, really?
It's an RPG.
That's interesting.
Secret of Mana. A lot of old MMOs. The earliest one I recognize is EverQuest, followed by RuneScape.
Yeah, RuneScape.
Final Fantasy IX was an MMO?
No, 11 is.
That is 11 in Roman numerals.
Yes, 11 is an MMO, and so is 14.
Alright, hold on. Okay.
You're good, Thunder. We're all good.
Blah blah blah, sentence. RuneScape, Ragnarok Online, Final Fantasy XI, EVE Online,
Eve.
Disney's Toontown Online.
Oh my
and
god,
World of Warcraft.
Toontown! Toontown! Oh my god, I haven't heard that name in ages.
Toontown is like the only MMO I played. That and this shitty free one that I played, which was the first game. Oh, so I wonder if this game is still active.
Is it Adventure Quest? Because that would be hilarious.
I believe it's called Dragon. No,
It's not Dragon
I
what?
typed in Dragon Quest, but of
That's
course
not
that's
it.
not.
But I
what
think
it
I know
is.
what you're talking about, though.
Dragon Adventure? Was that what it was called?
I'm telling you, I think you're thinking of Adventure Quest.
Dragon Fable.
Dragon Fable? What the hell is this?
Dragon Fable.
Dragon Fable.
free-to-play RPG 2D
What
online.
the hell is this?
Boy, it was not good.
Oh, no, you're good.
I think we played this.
This is
I
fine.
think you talked about how you played this.
I've played this, but this was the
Oh my god.
This was
The website hasn't changed in years.
This was succeeded by Adventure Quest. It's made by the same thing. It's the same type of, but it's better. So, same people.
Are you on the website?
No.
There are 218 players online.
Let's go! So, funny thing, actually, what's crazy is you can download Adventure Quest, which is the successor to this game, on your phone. You can play it on your phone now.
The icon is the same. When is the last time this game updated?
3 months ago, probably. Watch.
I have absolutely no idea. The icon hasn't changed. I loved the art. This was what I played in my freshman, sophomore years of high school.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was in debate, and we had a very hands-off debate teacher who just let us do whatever we wanted.
Nice.
And in particular, that class was just meant for us to do research and collect evidence and do that stuff. We didn't practice debates. And so I would just go, he was also the theater teacher, and so we would go hang out in the dressing rooms, and we had our laptops, and I just sat around. There's a treasure behind you. Yeah.
Oh, right here.
I got it just in time. There's a little glowy.
We got it. It's the journalist notes that we're looking for.
Oh, that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
That's what you need for Furion. Anyways, no, we would hang out in the dressing room, and I played fucking Dragon Quest.
Not Dragon Quest, Dragon Fable. Dragon Quest and Dragon Fable are different.
Fable.
They're different.
Oh my god! But it was a little pay to win. It was not there was not a lot of content for free, but it had pets, which is the big thing. It was also the first game I read patch notes in. Oh my god! The latest patch note was 6 days ago.
I told you, dude. I told you it was gonna be fucking dude. They're still supporting the game.
Oh my god! That's freaking hilarious.
That's so great.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
Anyways.
no, it's great because I do know about that.
MMOs.
MMORPGs. Oh, Maple Story is pretty good, but I would say.
I mean, World of Warcraft. It's the one. There's
as definitive,
absolutely no debate.
As definitive, yes. As the MMO. Boom, there it is. Yeah, sure. Wow. I would say one that if you were ever wanting to play an MMO, and cost isn't really something that you're concerned about because you really want to get into the game, Final Fantasy XIV. The game is incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
the game is so good.
Jaden just started playing it not that long ago, frankly.
It's very, very, very good. It's crazy how good it is. And it's very friendly and very fun. They do little events around the map all the time that you're in, so there's always something to do. And
yeah, Jaden specifically talked about how good it looks for an MMO, too, graphically.
Yeah, it really does. It's very good, just in general. And I think it's just fantastic. So.
Okay, so the next genre... Oh, fuck me.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, the next genre is roguelikes and roguelikes.
I hate this genre, though. The genre
It does bunch them together. Let's see. So, for context, for those watching, we got into a pretty lengthy discussion today.
Yeah, we did.
With friends about what makes a roguelike, what makes a roguelite, and all these things. And the problem we had was that most definitions of roguelike were so narrow that most games qualified as roguelite, because roguelite is just the genre of roguelike but not as narrow. It's just the catch-all for anything that doesn't fit a very narrow definition.
Also, can we say how shitty it is that they have roguelite and roguelike as the fucking definers? That's terrible.
I think they just need to be called rogue games, frankly.
I would agree. Yeah, you brought that up today, and I would absolutely agree. Because
it's not useful anymore.
It's really not. I don't really like rogue games, but a rogue RPG, I don't know if you can consider Enter the Gungeon an RPG.
I would say the definitive roguelike is Binding of Isaac.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right.
It's the one.
Yeah, I agree. That's hands down.
There's a full article on roguelikes. It's actually pretty lengthy and talks about all the weird subgenres and weird twists and different things that they do. I guess the other one would be Slay the Spire, but it's a
I love Slay
card
the
game,
Spire.
and I think the card game aspect makes it just enough not like
Yeah.
a real roguelike that I wouldn't classify there first.
Binding of Isaac's a really good one.
Yeah, I played it a bit. The theme didn't jive with me at the time. It was a long time ago, though. Did you find all the old journalist notes?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, you're still doing it. You're looking for them.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. Binding of Isaac's really good. I actually like that game, and I don't really care for rogues that much. Another kind of rogue RPG that I really, really like, that I just thought about, is Moonlighter. That game is really fun.
That's the one where you're like a shop and then you adventure at nighttime.
Yep.
The theme seemed really cool.
It's very cool, and if you can get it on sale, it goes on sale sometimes on PlayStation or on computer. Just pick it up for like $10. It's absolutely worth it. I haven't finished it yet, but because it suffers from being more or less the same after a while. You get a new dungeon, you go to the dungeon, you go here, you get this stuff, you sell that thing, you make more money. It really repeats itself, but the first like 2 or 3 dungeons, you're having an amazing time.
So first off, you want to go to the harbor, not the docks, in this town. Second, as far as
I might have picked it up.
yeah,
here already because I can't find it.
you may have. I picked up though 3 different indie games today, so I probably am not going to be picking up anything anytime soon.
Right.
I went ahead and bought Raji and Manifold Garden and Spiritfarer. So,
yeah.
Sorry, not the harbor. The place where the slums. That's where you want to go. I think.
I was there, and so I probably already have it.
Yeah, you can check. They're all called Old Journalists.
Which one is in Cornelia, or is in the harbor? Because I have 1, 5. Oh shit! I only have 1 and 5.
1 is from Cornelia. 5 is from the Colosseum.
Didn't we just pick up 2 more though?
Maybe you picked up. There's a bunch of different notes, and they actually unlock different stuff.
Is it journalist notes or old personal posting?
The personal postings give you Ishtola's jewel.
Ishtola's really okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
she's really good because her skill's like a super crazy amazing heal.
So I
I
have the one from Cornelia, which we just picked up, and I have the one from the Colosseum. So I don't have the one here, and now I have to find it. Okay. Anyway.
Go to I think it's in the slums. No, Ishtola's one is like, it's like heal plus protect plus shell or whatever all at once. It's insane.
That's absolutely Mighty Guard. It's Mighty
Sure,
Guard.
they call it Ethereal Pulse.
Yeah, Mighty Guard is pretty.
Okay, Old Journals notes to Saronia Harbor. Okay, sorry, it's Saronia Harbor.
That's where I am. Not really. Okay, anyway.
Saronia Harbor, next to the gate in Saronia Harbor. So maybe right at the beginning?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't go that way.
Anyways, next sub-genre
Right there.
is... Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, I got
Or was that a personal
It was
posting?
right by the
Oh,
dam, by the door.
Next one is in Agarthere, which is the town, the like weird town that you just got to, and then Nibelheim,
Which is next.
which is right after that.
Yep.
So those are and then that's it. No, next subgenre is sandbox RPG.
Sandbox RPG? What the hell does that mean?
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means.
That's pretty definitive right there. Is Grand Theft Auto? Like,
It mentions early Dragon Quest games. It mentions The Legend of Zelda, and I assume that means that's the first title.
no.
The Mana series, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Fable is mentioned in this category.
I disagree with this.
Xenoblade is in this category.
I disagree.
That's not
I disagree
Grand
with this
Theft Auto.
entirely.
I'll grant.
But-
Xenoblade is just a JRPG.
All right.
For the record, JRPG is not a subgenre listed.
This article is wrong then because that's
Well, it's Wikipedia. I think they're. I understand not wanting. I would say when you classify things as like JRPG, CRPG, WRPG, those are almost more like cultural thing. JRPG, I think, is enough to qualify it as something. But yeah, it mentions Dragon Slayer, early Dragon Quest, original Legend of Zelda, Wasteland, Saga and Mana series, System Shock 2,
In case you missed the first one, there's the second one.
Elder Scrolls Fallout, Fable,
Skyrim, then. Easy.
Gothic, Xenoblade,
I disagree with this. That is
and the Souls series.
Okay. Okay. Sandbox Souls would be pretty...
Oh, so sandbox RPGs or open world RPGs allow the player a great amount of freedom and usually feature a somewhat more open, free roaming world, which, frankly, Xenoblade does qualify as that. Did you go back to the town you were just in?
Yeah, I got
The
it
little
already.
tiny
I got
town?
it already.
Okay. Then this is the last one in this town. Anyways, yeah, I will 100% grant it. I think that Xenoblade falls under this. It's not open world, but it's damn near open world. In that it's close to open world. I think of an open world game as having optional, like, major places to go. And Xenoblade, you go to every major place.
I would have to say, if we're going to think of, like, sandbox and you have GTA in there, GTA is going to be what takes it. Like, GTA 5 is a crazy game. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want because it's GTA. Like, it doesn't matter. And you have some stats, I guess. So there's an RPG element in there. You can get your strength up and your stamina up and your... I mean, it's... I don't like it, but sure!
Okay, so the next subgenre is tactical RPGs.
Final Fantasy
Which,
Tactics.
Of course, tile-based tactics games come to mind, right?
Fire Emblem is going to be yours. Final Fantasy Tactics is going to be mine.
Disgaea is referenced, but it also references
Disgaea
here,
is good.
as a tactical RPG, it also considers XCOM.
Yeah, XCOM is a tactical.
Yeah. And Divinity Original Sin, which I also fully agree with, even though... because it's still... movement of characters around the map is critical to Divinity, so I would absolutely call it a tactical game. Even though it doesn't feel necessarily like it, it's like a... but yeah, I don't know. It's like XCOM, but no one shoots anything. It's all spells and magic and melee and stuff. So, anyways, and then finally we get... oh, did I miscount? Is one of... yeah, sorry. Technically, there's hybrid genres, and then the eighth... I thought it was eighth one. The last one was called Relationship to Other Genres. So there's only 7 genres listed.
Oh.
And then the hybrid genre is just like anything that really has aspects of multiple. And we've got Stalker, Deus Ex, Puzzle Quest, one of the Warhammer games.
All right, so we're going to make our own genre, and we're going to go ahead and say JRPG, because you can't not have an RPG without the JRPG aspect that everybody fucking talks about.
Yeah, let me just Google Final Fantasy, or search Final Fantasy in this article. It comes up a lot. So we got tactics showing up in the tactics section. We got MMO, Final Fantasy games.
14, absolutely.
Yeah, and then it shows up throughout a bunch of the other, like the bulk of the main article.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Maybe they just consider JRPG to be not a subgenre. It's just
RPG.
an RPG.
It's just an RPG. Well then, just an RPG. Final Fantasy games come to mind, but honestly, the ones that you really should play if you really want like super solid RPG mechanics would be Dragon Quest, because they're solid throughout the whole thing. They don't change a bunch, they don't alter a ton in terms of what they're doing, so I definitely think that Dragon Quest would be...
So the first game that comes up in the article, reasonably, is Dungeons and Dragons, because that's basically what spawned the entire genre.
I guess that's true. That's true.
It is. And then so the next one that actually comes up is in a subsection of the article about exploration and quest. It mentions NetHack, Diablo, and Fate series. But then it starts getting into nitty-gritty stuff, Baldur's Gate is referenced.
There's this shiny orb on the ground, but I can't pick it up.
Is it Cassette? Are you playing as Ryan?
Yeah.
Or Rain? Sorry.
I'll leave it come back. That's a weird thing to say.
This is where the honeybee is, apparently.
Yeah,
it's in a back.
Valley 7.
It says it's in a back alley, so maybe you need to go in a back alley between an inn and the honeybee inn, which I definitely did not recognize this as the honeybee inn.
Yeah, this is the honeybee right here.
Maybe it's because
It's like right here. It just didn't let me pick it up for some reason.
Maybe just do the story.
No, I got it.
Wait, go to the. Oh, you did pick it up?
Yeah, I got it. I left and come back, and it let me pick it up.
Okay. Is that all 5?
Yep.
Did you unlock a jewel?
Yep. I don't know if I have to go back
equip
and get it or not, but I'm gonna look and see.
I think you just get it. It doesn't say anything about. Well, maybe you do have to go buy it.
I'll look here in a second.
Oh, that was it, just now. Am I just way behind on stream?
Yeah, you're way behind.
I'm gonna refresh then.
Um,
I just saw you finally pick it up.
yeah, that's strange. So yeah, Final Fantasy. A lot of people would say Final Fantasy, but I'm definitely gonna toot the horn of Dragon Quest because goddamn, are those games not incredible?
Yeah, and I would say, as much as I love Xenoblade and it's the JRPG aesthetic, I don't think it's the quintessential JRPG by any means.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Wasn't
I would agree.
It's not turn-based. It's not like it's very open world. It's a JRPG by aesthetic, but not really by any other metric.
Definitely by aesthetic. Like, holy crap.
which
It's very by aesthetic. That's. Oh, this is Furion's Final Fantasy 3, right?
what now?
I know he's early.
It's Final Fantasy 3, I'm pretty sure.
I just saw you buy the gem.
Yeah, you're pretty close. So,
Okay.
because he's the
He's cool looking in his old art.
yeah. Oh,
He does
actually,
not look like that in this game. He does not look
actually,
anywhere near as
I think
badass.
He's yeah, he's exactly the guy I was thinking of. Now, am I right? Oh, it was 2. Crap, I'm wrong. I was 1 off.
Yep, he's Final Fantasy 2.
The bad one.
This character's cool though. I love his design, and his skills are like I said. The skills he grants you are like super useful.
Cool.
Um,
All right, so what's the thing that you found that you would want to discuss? Because you said you found something on YouTube that we should talk about.
I watched a video about this either last night or this morning, about the general topic is weird video game mechanics.
Okay.
Or things that are maybe a little bit obtuse. And so I'm going to start with this thing that I learned about Breath of the Wild. So,
My hair is
Breath of the Wild, you've played.
Yep.
So, you've got weapons, and there's a little number next to them, and it indicates how strong your weapon is. And you've got armor, and it indicates how many points of armor that it grants you, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got shields, and they've got a number next to them. What does that number mean?
The shield?
Yeah.
Would it be block?
Yeah, but what does that mean?
What does block mean?
Yeah. Because when you block an attack with the shield in Zelda, the attack is just blocked.
Oh,
You don't take damage.
So in terms of Zelda, I don't actually know what it would mean.
Well, and it's the first game that's featured any kind of stat associated with the shield. So like,
I
'Cause
guess
the other
shields
game-
in other games you just get more defense.
in other games, it usually has to deal with how they break, and then there's usually a shield that doesn't break. So in the case of Ocarina of Time, you had a wooden shield, burns, and then you had the Hylian shield.
Oh, so we're talking about Zelda games specifically.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm saying, in Breath of the Wild, I'm saying there's a number that ranges anywhere from like 0 to 100-ish. What does that number mean?
I don't know.
Right. So fun fact, it is never explained anywhere in the game.
Solid.
It is also wrong in the official guide.
What?
The official guide states it as the amount of damage it does when you use it as a shield bash, except only one shield does damage as a shield bash. It's the Lionel shield.
Interesting.
Dude, I'm burning up.
So maybe it was created for that, and it has to be in every single one. It can't be just for that one.
It has people figured it out.
Oh shit.
It does 3-ish things. 2 of them are very similar, but it does 3-ish things.
Just think about cold things.
Thing number 1,
And then think about
when
the
blocking an
melting.
attack. When blocking an attack, you are receiving an attack value, and you have a shield that has a number.
One
If
wrong
the
step,
attack
finished.
power is
Oh.
greater than the shield,
Okay.
so your shield has a guard of, say, 50.
500 degrees.
If the incoming attack is more than 50 damage, or I guess I should phrase it this way, if the incoming attack is less than 50 damage, when the enemy strikes your shield, they will be staggered. And they will sort of recoil from the hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whereas if their attack is higher, you'll still block the attack, but they'll just keep right on going.
They don't care.
Second thing it does is when you parry an attack in Zelda, or in Breath of the Wild, if you parry and you do, I don't think it's exactly the same comparison. One of these two has some math involved. There's like a little bit of arithmetic to alter the calculation a little bit. But the other one is when you parry an attack, it also compares the attack value and the shield guard value. And if your attack is higher, or if your shield guard is higher than the attack value, it disarms the enemy, and they drop their weapon.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas if it's less, they take a stagger and they fall back, but they keep their they keep their weapon in their hand. And then the third thing it does is it affects durability. However, it is not just the durability. All shields have a hidden durability value. And there is some more arithmetic, and there's like there are different ranges that do different things. But basically, if your shield guard is higher than the attack value, you will take 1 durability point of shield damage. And then if your shield guard value is less than the incoming attack, you will take more than 1 point of durability. And then there's basically like, the more powerful the attack is, the more durability it
This is
does.
riveting, by the way.
It's really it's completely obtuse. It's never explained, and without just trying a bunch of stuff and also knowing the like integer attack values of random attacks, there's no way to know.
That's really strange.
Also, there's a handful of enemies that like Lionels can't be disarmed, and like
Right, yeah.
Enoxes and boss enemies have some special rules where they can't be staggered or flinched or whatever.
Now I'm trying to think of like weird video game mechanics, and I don't really.
I'm just saying anything that's interesting or obtuse, and I don't think it's I don't think this shield thing is bad.
That's hard.
And I also think
to
that it's
of.
complicated enough that I don't blame them for never explaining it, because
That's
it's
true.
kind of...
I would
it's
glaze
the-
over and be like, "Nah, that's fine."
The flavor text does enough of a good job, right? Like it tells you if a shield has low durability, and then a higher number means it's a better shield. So like, fine. You don't really... The only other thing I don't know is I assume it has some effect on shield surfing, because you can break shields while shield surfing, but I don't know how that number, or if that number affects that. If I had to guess...
I really don't know. I don't know what would be like a weird or obtuse mechanic that's really not explained. I don't really go looking for those types of things. Like, if it's not explained very well, I'll just go, all right, it'll come up when it comes up, and if it doesn't come up, I pretty much just forget about it, to be quite honest.
We definitely played a Tales game that had several systems that we just never utilized.
Oh, okay. Star Ocean games have some weird shit in them sometimes that they really don't explain, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, I thought of a great game that has some bullshit mechanics in it that they never explain, and it's a game that we've talked about before in our chat that Kenny has mentioned because it is obscenely hard for literally no reason. It's called Cross Edge.
I feel like I've heard the title, but that's it.
It's a turn-based JRPG, anime RPG. It has people from like Darkstalkers and some other games, and you know what Darkstalkers is. If you've seen more again, you know what Darkstalkers is.
Yeah.
It also has some people from Disgaea, So it's like this big combo game. They don't explain anything. Anything. And the game is insanely fucking hard because they don't explain the mechanics in the game. Ever. It's just like, here you go. You have fun. Oh, by the way, these enemies are like 10 levels above you when you fight the boss, but you should be able to do it if you know the mechanics. And you go, what? Huh? So games that are frustrating that have mechanics, that one is on the top of my list because fuck that game.
There are some. I was thinking about Smash Bros. And Brawl had tripping,
You
which
wanna talk
wasn't
about-
particular. It's not particularly hard to explain. Though
It's
it is
hard to
kind of
explain why it's
bulky.
in there. Like, why would you think
Well,
this
it
was a good
meant to be-
idea?
I believe it was meant to be like, this is a party game. That means sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah, that game. Was, I love that game.
But I agree,
man,
it should have been one of those things where like you should have been able to turn it off.
Yeah.
What was one of the Smash also has a couple really bizarre ones. So
Yeah,
this
Smash
is one I
and
learned about.
Melee specifically has some crazy shit in it.
Oh well, I learned one interesting one. This is like more of an Easter egg, but it's technically referenced in flavor text. In Smash Ultimate, there's an assist trophy for Metroids, the actual enemy.
Oh, the little. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the enemies from the Metroid series called Metroids, and it says in the flavor text that they are killed by freezing them, and that's something that in the original game that's how you kill them. Samus gets a freeze gun type weapon,
Yep.
and you freeze them, and then you shoot them or whatever.
Yep.
In Smash Ultimate, there are like 4 things that can freeze stuff.
Ice
And if
Climbers.
Ice Climber's Breath, Mr. Freezy item, PK Freeze from Lucas,
Yep.
and I think there's one other thing.
Oh, we don't have a damn
Riki-
Smash. Crap.
Riki has the assist trophy has a freeze thing. Anyways, if a freeze attack hits a Metroid, it will turn dark blue, drop to the ground, and then you can break it and kill it.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Things that have some interesting Easter eggs. I like games a lot that do throwbacks to their other games. I mean, you were talking about Easter eggs and throwbacks to other games. This one in particular, World of Final Fantasy, does it all the time. All the time. And it's fantastic. And I think it's fun to do that because they kind of know. They're like, we know, it's funny. Or they do things like Smash where they're like, no, we're following the mechanics of the game. This is how you do it. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. That shit's really cool.
I will say this, by the way, this dungeon that you're in now, I do not believe has any Maxima Merc Rifts. There's a Merc Rift in here, but it's
There's a
not
Merc Rift in
Maxima.
here, but I need to go get somebody with Smash because I don't have one.
Or just don't bother.
I want to get everything. Might as well. While we're here.
Okay.
While we're here.
You probably should carry around something with Smash, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you shortly after this is you don't do the Mako reactor until the desert, right? That's part of the desert. That's when you get pulled into prison and you lose all your stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you got to do the Phantom Sands first, which does have a Merc Rift in it.
I think this guy has Smash. I'm pretty sure.
The Iron Golem, I am almost positive does. The dragons also do too.
So for another thing that I was thinking about is how so in gaming, you know, we've always had, you know, the Nintendo and all that stuff, and we've always had, quote, multiplayer. Like if you go to the arcade and you look at the Simpsons game or the Avengers game or the Ninja Turtles game, and you can both put in quarters and you play with each other, or you play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. And, you know, so we went from arcades as being a multiplayer, then we started getting the ability to do the couch co-op when Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and all that stuff came out on Super Nintendo. Like I had a Goofy game, Disney's Goofy, on Super Nintendo that was like a co-op game, and you know we've had really good games for couch co-op, and then PS3, Xbox 360, and Xbox came out, and we really started shifting to online multiplayer because it was the thing to do. And you know, PS3, Xbox, PS4, and Xbox One really hit hard on online. And it seems like right now, recently, in the past year or two, we've seen a shift towards back to single-player experiences.
Yeah, I think there was. I think the online thing happened because for a long time, online wasn't. You couldn't do it, right? For the first several generations of video game consoles, the idea of online multiplayer like that.
What's actually crazy is PS2 had online multiplayer in it. Not everybody could do it, but it definitely had it, and you could play a couple games with PS2 multiplayer online. But the big one that happened was Xbox with Halo. You know, that was the big kaboom. Like, holy shit, this is awesome. But then we really dragged it out, and now we see insane business practices with multiplayer online.
Yeah, for sure.
And why? I think you're in a sense that you're right by saying we didn't have it, and then we had it, and it was great, and so people really just drove home fucking hard on it. It was the new hotness. But I'm glad that we've started seeing the shift towards single-player games because we get things like God of War, even though I personally don't really like the gameplay because I'm bad at it. And then we have, Horizon Zero Dawn, probably, things like that.
Shocked you didn't say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's fantastic as well. Oh my god. But people would say, like, well, we already got Spider-Man with Arkham Knight, so... like, shut up. It's Spider-Man and I love it. It's great. He shoots his little web and he goes, squick, and it's great. But what happened, I really don't know what happened on why everybody went so hard in that area for multiplayer. Like, COD 4 came out. I mean, we had Halo was big, and then COD 4 came out. And it just blew up. Like, multiplayer was the thing. It had to be in every single game, no matter what. It's like, and now people are like, I'll buy your game. It might have online multiplayer, but if I have to do in-app purchases for it, I'm out. And what happened? We were so for it, and then we are so against it all of a sudden. I
don't know.
He doesn't know. He's ignoring me.
No, I genuinely don't know.
I think gamers are getting tired of getting milked. Some of them aren't. Some of them don't care. Some of them are like, this is the one game I play. Sure, I'll do these in-game transitions. I think it really started to show when Battlefront 2, when EA did the Battlefront 2 stuff. And then people went, whoa! I have to pay for this game and pay for every single bit of the content? Like, you're out of your mind.
I still don't have any particular distaste for microtransactions, and I understand why some games will be like, and no microtransactions as like an advertising gimmick, but to me it's the sort of thing, it's kind of the equivalent of saying no MSG, like, okay, but that wasn't really the problem here.
That's a good point.
Like, people use it as an advertising gimmick, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't care that much.
I won't play it, or I won't pay for it. It's like, it's different if they don't force it upon you, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and anything that can turn into pay to win, problem. Anything that can be where the coolest, best stuff is requires like only pay for stuff, problematic. That said, a little bit of DLC here and there, I don't mind.
See,
like,
I don't mind. I don't mind DLC if it's
Fall
done.
Guys skins. That's fine.
That's cosmetic,
Whatever.
so it doesn't actually matter. You know, it's like, oh, that's fun. But
the moment it's cosmetic, I don't care enough.
Cosmetics, I don't give a damn about. You can do microtransactions, cosmetics, all you want. It doesn't matter to me at all. It's like, I'm not gonna pay for it, but I'm not gonna rag on the guy who paid for the $100 Smite skin because he wanted it. I don't care.
I mean, you might pay for it. The Fall Guys French fries and
oh, I want the French fries. It's so good.
It's like $5 for the fast food pack, and
I
it's
got
the
that game.
Hamburger, the slushie, and the French fries.
Oh, the slushy's good too.
There was a pre-order bonus or a collector's edition bonus that you can buy those separate as well. There's a few different things. There's 2 DLC packs right now, and then since they just moved all the Steam exclusive skins to the PlayStation as well.
Right. Yeah.
There might be some there. Those may be paid for. I don't know how they're all going to work.
I think you can really do
That wasn't so
in-app
bad.
purchases as well, and we've talked about it before in our main chat. It's like I don't mind the cosmetic loot boxes so much, as long as you can like also earn them. The thing I don't like about Smite specifically is like all of the cosmetic loot boxes, you can't earn the premium currency, and it's a random chance to get a certain skin. You can't just buy the skin outright. You have to roll for it, and so it's like you could spend a lot in that. But like Overwatch, where I pay for the game and then I can earn a ton of skins and stuff just by playing
There's
the
only
game.
one currency, yeah.
You know, it's sure I could buy a bunch of loot boxes if I want to keep supporting the game because they've rolled out content for free, or I can just play the game and earn them. I can earn a loot box for every arcade win and every win of the day and all that. Like that's Overwatch is a great fucking system. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
But then you have CS:GO, which are you familiar with CS:GO at all? With how they did their system?
No, not with how they do micros.
Are you familiar with TF2 when they switched to their new system?
No.
I know what you are familiar with. PUBG.
Yes.
Where you get crates and then you have to unlock them with keys, and the keys cost money.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like CS:GO style in a sense.
Yeah, and the thing that always bugged me about PUBG was that, like,
It got added in later.
well, no, but like the key thing, like, if you're gonna have a premium currency like that, and Fall Guys does it well, you can get, well, in Fall Guys, I guess you can't just buy crowns, but like,
Nope.
the point is, like, with the keys is they're scarce, and so you don't get very many of them. Fine, but especially for a game that's blossoming, where it's like it's brand new, it's the new hotness, like, do a couple giveaways. But they literally never just said, "Hey, weekend event, play this thing, get 3 keys or whatever." They literally never did that.
Oh yeah, like an
I think I
incentive.
got 1 key.
An incentive to play all the time type thing.
You
Be like-
literally couldn't. You literally could only buy keys.
right, exactly.
They only-
After paying what $30 for that game when it first came out.
Yeah, and they only gave out. I think I only ever used like 1 single key the entire time I played, because they did
Right.
like 1 little giveaway.
Right.
They
yeah.
should have been doing shit like every weekend, give people a key. Like, you got this new hot game that's all the rage. Like, that was really annoying that I couldn't participate in that one system. That was really frustrating.
I agree.
Whereas, yeah.
Which-
I really like Fall Guys' system of
Don't let your guard down
crowns
just 'cause we're stronger.
for wins, since it's a battle royale. I think that's super clever.
Absolutely. I think the way Fall Guys is handling it is phenomenal.
You can't buy the best currency. You can only get it from playing a lot of games and the battle pass, or just winning games.
Yep.
You win a game, you get a free one.
Yep.
But
And
then
that kind of
so,
sucks for
yeah.
the people who get screwed or who can't win, but eventually it'll happen. You know, you'll get your time. It'll be a thing. Except I
Yeah,
think there's
sort of
a
being a little
I think there's a
kid,
thing on
like,
Twitter
yeah,
right
you
now
can-
about a guy wwho's gone like 600 games and hasn't won a single one yet.
Oh, that guy, he finally won yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
He gained. He posted. I'll find him on Twitter because I have been following this.
Oh yeah, Thunder says he won as well, so that's cool.
Yeah, he won. He gained some absurd amount of like followers and views and stuff. He got. Let me find this guy because it really is. It is bonkers. He posted his like before and after.
Yeah. Yeah, he went viral very quickly because they've tweeted him and stuff.
Yeah, they were like the Twitter was picking on him a bit.
Yep. He did milk it. I agree. He got
Watch out,
big for it, and I
this
don't
could
blame him.
explode any moment.
I don't blame him, and that's cool. I mean, use
The official Twitch count tweeted it out. The Twitch like Twitter showed him winning. He
went
I
like
want to say
600
he
and some.
got-
Right?
I want to say he got like thousands. Yeah, during his when he got his win, he got over 4,000 subs.
That's crazy. That's
he had-
crazy.
On his stream where he finally won, he got over 500,000 new unique viewers.
Holy
He got
goodness.
almost 60,000 follows. Dude made like six figures for winning that Fall Guys game.
Are you out of your mind?
I mean, think about how much a sub costs.
$5.
He got over 4,000 of them.
Holy shit.
So he got, just from subs, if it's $5 for 1 month sub, he made 5 figures for winning a game of Fall Guys.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
like, it is absolutely bonkers. He also had like really high viewer retention. Like, it was absolutely insane. So, yeah. The thing that the Fall Guys Twitter did today that was hilarious is they tweeted out.
Like, holy shit.
They tweeted out apparently they did some stats, and the guy that runs the Twitter found the statistically best player, the one with the best record in Fall Guys, and gave them, there's a skin that's coming out this weekend, and they gave just that person the skin, but they didn't know who it was because it was just like associated with an account, not with a name or anything. And so he was this whole like Twitter campaign of, okay, I gave this guy the skin, let's find him. And the person never seems to have seen this Twitter account. Basically, they never figured out who it was.
That's
they
crazy.
said the entire day it was like trending on Twitter of who is this person, but nobody knew.
That's great. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So actually, kind of to keep the whole kind of thing going, microtransactions, and we can actually get into how gaming has evolved. With everyone's favorite, mobile gaming. Because what a fucking market that is.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to need more alcohol for that conversation, so I'm going to BRB. I'll come back.
Because mobile gaming is a monstrosity. Like, and kind of a plague, really. And we'll talk about who does it really well and who we think does it really well. And some personal experiences with it, because holy shit. So while Joe is gone, for those who don't know, I started streaming because of a mobile game called Puzzles and Dragons. There wasn't very many streamers who played it, and I went from really terrible at it to kind of terrible at it, but I was entertaining enough that people to this day still show up, so it is what it is. But that's what I did, was, and then I slowly kind of branched out. I got a capture card, and I started doing other stuff, and I started doing stuff with my friends, and, we just kind of became this thing. Anyway, I play a lot of mobile games. Like, I just download mobile games to play them. Yeah, I did. I streamed during the streamer era pad. It's actually kind of crazy, because there's still some people who stream or who are around in the pad community and still kind of know who I am, which is cool. But there's a lot of people who are gone. But anyway, we can discuss that. That's a topic for a whole different time.
You okay?
Rydia.
So I play a lot of them. Like, I will just download mobile games to try them out, play them, and then in a week, if I'm tired of them, I will just get rid of them and I'll just try another one.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what it is. So I like to just play them because I like that thing of like
I'm fine.
the gacha. I like the gacha a lot. I like to roll, and I think it's fun, and I like that dopamine burst when I get a new fucking unit. I love it. It's great. Which is dangerous. I will straight out say that mobile gaming is insanely dangerous.
You've done plenty.
Yeah, gambling addicts, and I've heard tons of stories and stuff. Like, you gotta understand that it can be a gateway to hell.
Okay.
And
Let's
back.
put some on.
Cause holy shit.
Right. We've got to keep.
So microtransactions.
Yeah, I spent an uncomfortable amount of money on mobile games.
Oh man, me too. Actually,
You're coming too, Tama.
I've enjoyed the money I've spent.
I agree.
I have reined it in recently.
Me too. I haven't spent tons of money on a mobile game in a while.
I haven't done a big drop. I haven't done because I definitely did with Pad and a few times with Fire Emblems. I did like a $60 buy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I have done that with Fire Emblem Heroes. It has been a very long time, and I think the most I've spent recently is I've done. They have Fire Emblem Heroes has like $8 monthly packs, stuff like that. So I've done that.
Yeah, that's becoming a new
I'll try
thing.
to
Is
do
like a subscription pass. It's like
Well, I haven't done that.
I know you don't know about this.
But they had
place.
like a monthly bundle that was like $8, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm trying to get this one unit or whatever. I'll spend $8. That's a meal. Like that's fine.
yeah, yeah. There's whales out there that spend. I know of a guy in Pad who spends thousands every time a new event comes out,
Oh yeah.
and that's recently. He still does it. I'm like, that's crazy. How can you? How? I'm like, holy shit. But anyway, so we go for microtransactions in games, which you know exactly what you're getting. For the most of them, loot boxes are a little different story, but most of the time you see a thing, you want that thing, you pay for that thing, you're done. It's good. We're good.
True.
Maybe he'll cough it up if we thump him.
Mobile
on the back.
games and specifically gacha games.
Okay.
That's a monster of
Seriously?
a rabbit hole to get down. Because
Yeah,
it can get out of hand.
No lie.
It can get very out of hand very quickly.
I don't like gambling, but I've spent some money on gacha games.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like gambling either, but goddamn, will I buy some stuff for Pad? Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And I think games, I tie this in because of PUBG.
Good job.
It didn't do this whole thing very well. It really was trying to be a cash grab. But some mobile games do it really, really well, where there are the pay-to-win aspects, or you can pay to get more stuff, but they give away a bunch of shit. And
Fire Emblem Heroes is like that.
yeah, Fire
Frankly,
Emblem,
I've
Fire
never
Emblem
heard.
is really good
I
at
always
that.
can summon
Prophecy said.
at least once a week.
Yes.
I pull stuff.
What's up? You don't seem
Yeah.
very happy.
No,
Whereas
it's
Pad,
not that at
Pad,
all.
it was like wait till the end of the month. It was like once a month you would splurge. Otherwise, you were wasting your time.
Yes, yeah. They've been a little bit better about it. They just give away rolls like crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they
Ooh,
give
and
away
it's actually-
stones like crazy. And
Get
they've
so
really kind of
tall all of a
changed. Like
sudden.
there's the 100 roll fest that just happened. Like they give you 100 rolls and you're guaranteed to get at least one 7-star. The average was like 2 or 3 that you'd get. Some people got screwed, but that's just kind of what it is. Some people.
Fire
got
Emblem
really,
Heroes
really
actually implemented something I think is really cool of them.
Hey, look, it's Leviathan.
So Fire Emblem Heroes recently, I don't remember this cutscene at all.
Yeah, it's Leviathan.
Yeah, I do not remember this. And I played this more recently.
So Fire Emblem Heroes is done by Cry Games, right?
It's Intelligent Systems.
It's not Cry
Same.
Games. I thought it was Cry Games.
It's the same people that make Fire Emblem.
Right.
It's the same studio. No, what they implemented recently, which I think is really clever, is they made it so on any new banner that is introducing new characters to the game or new units to the game, right?
Right.
If you summon 40 total times, which is a pretty reasonable thing to do in Fire Emblem Heroes based on the economy of the game.
Right.
If you
Chapter
save a bit,
12.
you could pretty reasonably do
Jiggle
this.
Panic.
And usually associated with those events, there will be lots of free summons and those count.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't cost you your orbs or whatever.
Yes.
But what they implemented was if you summon 40 times, you can just pick one of the new units.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. You have
You
a
just get it.
guaranteed
So that means,
pick.
and you get that's like the nature, like it's a neutral nature, so it's never going to be bad. Like you're never going to get a minus
Maybe
attack or
we should
whatever.
go this way after all.
Yeah, you just get one. And what they did even more recently is they just did Fire Emblem Heroes has a yearly poll where they say, of all the Fire Emblem characters of all time, which ones do you want to get new, fancy, alternate units in the yearly event?
They have a community vote, right?
Yeah, it's a community vote, and the top two male and the top two female units get an alt in the game. And usually they're distinct or interesting, and they're also usually very, very good. And they just did this year's. They just released it. Sorry, I'm eating an oatmeal cream pie.
They're terrible. This is supposed to be a non-food show here, man. Come on.
Worst streamer. No, but what they did was, so Choose Your Legends event, number one, you just straight up get to pick one anyways. As part of Choose Your Legends, you just get to pick one of the ones you want.
No matter what?
And
no
matter what.
Even if you don't summon?
Right. You just get a freebie.
Oh shit, that's really cool.
So no matter what it is, you could log into the game right now and just pick one of the units.
That's pretty baller.
This year's was coming up. The poll was not long after Three Houses hype, so literally all 4 of them are Three Houses units this year.
Terrible. Terrible.
Anyways, though. So
like what Pat does, it gives away a lot for free.
There's more to it. So I told you about the 40 summon thing, right?
Right.
If you went ham, and I can't imagine why you would. Well, sorry, I can imagine. Anyways,
No trouble at all.
the 40 summon thing is still true for this new banner. And also they made it, since there's 4 new units, it goes up to 160. So you could get one of each unit. Now, that would be a metric shit ton of summoning. It would almost certainly cost you money. But you could, if you wanted, like, you could get one free of each. And it actually eliminates the previous one. So if the first one you pick is Edelgard, then the next time you get a free pick, you can't pick Edelgard. But
Okay, so you can't double up.
you get one freebie right off the top, and then you can get one of each character addition to that if you summoned hard. I got one free. I got my freebie, and then I got one. I hit 40 summons, and I got one more. I probably won't get a second one, but I'm gonna try.
Okay, I like things that do that a lot.
It helps. It makes it feel really worth. Like I don't mind saving for the thing and then going for it.
Yeah, Pad doesn't do that shit at all. There's like no mercy rule. They give away a lot of stuff, but there is no mercy, and it is just like, and recently, you haven't played in a while, but recently it's gone up to like 10 stones or 10 of the currency to roll one time. I mean, you get an evolved 297 fully awakened unit, but that doesn't matter anymore because that shit's easy to get nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah,
it's moved up the cost, but it's also moved up the reward. But it's not like roll 10 times and you get a free roll, which a lot of games do, where if you pull for the 10, you'll get a free one. There's other games.
I'm gonna say 2 things real fast. Number 1, Snow's Shiva is another Maxima post-game only Mirage.
Oh, that's cool. I do like
I was
Snow's
very
Shiva.
bummed that I never got it, because I really wanted that one, and I found out later that it was post-game only.
Snow's Shiva is great. It's one of the best Shivas that's out there.
But yeah, no, like I said, Fire Emblem has a really good pity rate. Oh, sorry, it has an okay pity rate, but also there are ways, so Fire Emblem has other ways to help influence what you get, and there's lots of really good stuff.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
The summoning system in Heroes is the best.
I don't know about the best. It's pretty
As
good.
far as gotchas go, I don't know.
It's pretty good. I will have to say it's pretty good. I don't know about the best.
Yeah.
The best is kind of it's kind of hard, but I haven't played it a ton either, so I don't know. I did play it and I didn't mind it, but at the same time, it's like
Why do all the mirages here like popping out?
sometimes it's annoying because like if you get in there and you hit the one that you want and it's junk and the rest of them, it's like okay. So a game that I've started playing recently again is Dragon Ball's Dokkan Battle, and it does it really well, but it does it really well on certain events. It doesn't do it this well all the time, but like on the big events, like there's 2 big ones every year. There's the download celebration, so X amount of downloads, and then there's the anniversary. And the anniversary did a thing where it would do. It starts off as a discounted pull. It went like 30, 35, 40, 45, and then it does 50 of the currency. And every time you rolled, you got tickets. You got 3 tickets, and 10 tickets would be another full multi.
That wasn't so bad.
So it takes 4 rolls to get another full multi. But it also did a thing where if you rolled 3 times in a row, you would get another one for free. So it gives away basically 2 free multis in 4 gacha rolls, which is incredible. It's like, holy crap, that's a great system. And not only that, is every time you roll, you get these coins, and those coins can be exchanged for exact units that you want. Now, granted, it does take a lot of coins to do it, but if you play the game for a long time, you'll get a lot of coins. And so I think games like that do the discounts or give you free stuff and free rolls are crazy good.
Today's episode is sponsored by every gacha game that you hate. Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Fuck. There are... So, as I was explaining, like, I go through a lot of mobile games just because I get kind of bored. Especially if I'm running a lot of heavy analysis while I'm working. I'll download a gacha game and then just play it and see what it's like. And if I like it, I'll play it for a little while, and then I'll eventually get bored with it and get out of there. But on
Whereas
immediate...
I've stuck with just Fire Emblem Heroes.
I mean, I still
Day
have...
one.
I still
4 years
have
in.
Pad. I have Dragon Ball now. I recently actually got back into playing Dragalia Lost
Oh, I'm surprised.
because it has a really good auto. It has a really good reward system and stuff like that, and they give away a ton of shit all the time. And it's just something I can just sit and auto, and if I want to actually play it, I can really get into it. So it's like I can set it up to run a certain dungeon 10 times and put my phone down, and it does everything I want it to do. And it's like, cool, that was easy. And there's other games I've played that really don't do it well. And Thunder in chat brought up Summoner Wars, and there's another one, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Some people say it does well, and I personally think it doesn't. I think Brave Exvius doesn't do a great job in its gacha at all. I think it's very, very heavy pay to win. I think it's very heavy. It's just hard to get anything. Like, they do these like big events and stuff, but like it takes a lot of the fucking currency to get anything. And by the time you do get something, you can get a guaranteed unit, which is cool, but it takes a fuck ton to get that unit. So at the end of the day, you're like, oh crap. And then they come out with another really good banner that they power creep themselves way too quick, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Is like, they power creep themselves instantly. And that's a problem with gacha games, is like, oh, the next unit is so good, and it really puts that itch in your brain. You're like, man, I gotta get that fucking unit, because if I don't, I'm kind of bad.
The Fire Emblem Heroes, I think, does a good job where they have implemented. So yes, there's power creep, and yes, most of the new stuff is going to beat the like OG stuff from the beginning of the game. But as time goes on, they implement things that make the older stuff better. And so there are things where it's like, oh, if you have an old unit that you really like, you can spend this currency on them and you can buff their stats. If you have, they've added weapon refines to units that were basically, if a unit got power crept by some other new unit where it's like, well, this unit's the same, but they're better in every way, they've given them new weapons basically that make their that just make it so that they're at least a little closer to being something that could show up in modern, where like if you have taken the time and if you have invested in them,
I do like that
then,
option.
yeah, then you could make it work. And and that's why I have 2 +10 Donalds in Fire Emblem Heroes. Even though he's an OG original unit, he still has his uses. Like, he's still pretty okay, and
right.
So he should. So I still use him.
But man, they really know
a lot of content.
They really know how to get that like microtransaction on you. You're like, oh well, if I just buy X amount, maybe I will get it. And some games know that you did your first purchase for the first time, and they'll give you that one unit. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. That dopamine rush is so good. I love it. And then you do it again, and you get screwed. And you're like, well, maybe just one more. Maybe just one more. And it can get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, it can... Mobile games are good and bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I really do like mobile games, and I think it's great that we have them because it really, gaming right there at your fingertips is great. But damn, some of the practices are dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous.
If we want to talk about good free gotchas, we can talk about Xenoblade 2.
Free. You have a lot of suffering for all that freaking game.
It scratches the gotcha summoning itch, and you don't have to pay any money.
I mean, you gotta pay for the game, and that game never goes on sale.
Xenoblade 2, it goes on sale every now and then. It's not often.
It's not often, and it's not by much. If it ever goes on sale, it's really not by much. Ooh, Ultra. I need Ultros, I think, because he's water. And this switch is very annoying to get. Or the sea worm. The Japan culture for gacha games? Yeah, the Japan culture for gacha games is pretty crazy, because like that's what their gambling is. They don't have actual gambling, they only have gacha.
No, they don't. It's not legal.
It's only gacha systems, and that is a problem. Because it really kind of sets a precedent for what the games entail, and then they're right there at your fingertips, and all you have to do is click, 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 and I can buy. I can link it to my phone, my credit card. I can link it to my PayPal. I can link it to a phone bill. Like, it's crazy. It's just so immediately accessible, and it's dangerous. It really is. But damn, is it not fun? Like, you get that dopamine burst, and you're just like, this is great. I love this shit. I think I need a toad, right? Because three is pretty heavy for a small, I think. Yeah, Japan is very heavy on the gacha games just because it's their way of gambling, and it releases the right amount of the dopamine burst. It gets you. I can't deny that it doesn't get you. But I think games that you pay for, I don't know. In my opinion, mobile games get a pass in a sense because that's how they make their money, Where paying for this instance, like Battlefront 2, when it came out, I paid $60 for that game, and now I got to pay all this other money to get Luke as a hero, or whatever, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I think that's stupid. Like, it's really, really dumb. Damn, are we still not gonna get this Switch? Come on now. I think I got it now. We're good. Okay, I got it. That was a hard switch, actually.
Nice.
Other games that do it, yeah, Destiny. Destiny was a problem, which is really a shame because I love how Destiny plays. Destiny is such a fun game to play because it shoots really well. But man, they ripped you for DLC. Like, you had to buy the expansions. And now it's not so bad for people who want to get into it because they made the game free to play. And then you buy the expansions, and it's like, oh, okay, well, the people who were early adopters get kind of fucked, which is unfortunate. I don't know, it's a weird trend that we've moved, so I'm wrapping it all the way back down is, man, I really like to see people focusing on single-player stories, and I love that we've seen a lot of, I personally, I love to see a lot of JRPGs come out. Even with Final Fantasy VII being more action style, it's definitely just a single-player experience, so, it is what it is.
Yeah, I never did get into Destiny. I had a coworker that played it a lot, but he hasn't gotten into it recently. To my knowledge, he's basically stopped. But he has very specific tastes as it's
That's yeah, that is something you could say. Very specific tastes. Right, yeah, and that's Thunder. Thunder makes a good point. Basically, what I said is like, we can get mad at, PUBG for doing its case thing where you had to buy the stuff for it and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like, CS:GO is free to play and it does cases, but PUBG was not, and that's kind of shitty. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least make it so that you can earn the premium currency as well, like Fall Guys. Like, exactly like Fall Guys, you can earn those currencies. You don't have to pay for them. But if you want to support the game, give him a little $5. Give him a little shaky, you know. And I think that's fantastic. Cause man, fuck crates and keys. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's the Flan Princess. I love her. She's great.
There's a Maxima flan somewhere.
Oh, sweet. Oh, it's the Marlboro as well. I forgot about this guy.
I thought I had the Maxima flan by this point, but
I haven't found one.
yeah, now I don't see
I
it.
won't hold back.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe it wasn't Maxima. Maybe it was.
Guardian Glow, huh? Sure. I'll do that. I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's there's a special flan in the Coliseum that was technically DLC in the original, but in Maxima it's just included. So I can show you where that is in the Coliseum if you want to go there.
Sure. We can check that out.
It's the Kaguya flan.
Kaguya Flan. Cool.
What is her? She has a bunch of cool stuff. She's a really good healing thing you don't really need in your current state.
Nah.
And she's also medium, and you've been using the Lilikin. So probably also wouldn't be useful in that case. But like, I don't know, she's really good. She's a good healer. Wouldn't be bad to have, and looks cool, so like, why not? When's the last time you went through some of your Mirages and leveled them up?
I've just been using like these Mirages here. I've been using Drummit and Mel because they're newer, and so those are
Yeah.
the ones that I want to use.
You need to get. Let me look at where some of the big ones are, because that's what you need.
The bigger ones? Yeah, that'd be kind of
The
nice.
large size. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a ton. There's one, but it's Hometown, so that's a little ways off. That's the... You gotta get through desert, you gotta get through the...
Whoa, dang.
You gotta get through the frickin' Mako Reactor. There's a bunch that you have to do for that. But I used that one for a very, very long time.
Sweet.
That one's the large bunkle. It's like a car bunkle, but big.
Oh, a car. Okay, the carbuncles. Gotcha. Like the. Yeah.
But it's the large bunkle.
Oh, it's funnier that way, right?
I mean, it's big and fat. It's great.
Oh, okay, that is kind of funny, actually.
It's also light element, which is not super common. So.
That's true. It isn't very common. Whoops, I did not mean to. No, stop autoing. I want to look at what she does.
Right. There's another medium one that I used a little bit, and that's at Big Bridge.
I'll just kill her because I already have her, so it's not really that big of a deal. So upcoming games. What are you excited for?
Good job.
Well, I did buy 3 games today. but
Oh,
those
right.
aren't-
Those were the indie showcase.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
those are,
I've got.
Those are kind of big deals.
Yeah, I think that Manifold Garden seems like right up my alley. Puzzle game, weird perspectives. I really loved Antechamber. Like, it's gonna be right up my alley.
That's the other game I was thinking of when we talk about puzzle games that you really, really like. Just Antechamber.
Antechamber? Oh god, that game is
Antechamber.
wild.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Wild.
I was like, what the fuck is that game? He kept talking about it. What is it? Okay, now I know. We're good.
It's so good. It's been a very long time since I've played it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, Manifold Garden seems like it's different styles of puzzles, but like same idea, same aesthetic. Then I bought Raji and Ancient Epic because I was a little hesitant about it, and it's probably a little more price per hour than a lot of games are. But at the same time, not a lot of games using the Indian mythology, and so
True, that's
like,
true. There's
I'm
really
all-
not.
it's definitely going to be unique in that regard. So yeah, I bought Raji as well. It's also apparently only like 5 or 6 hours long, which is perfect. Like, nice little short project. And then I bought Spiritfarer, which is apparently pretty long. I did not realize, but in one of the reviews I saw, they were like, it's surprisingly, there's a lot of content. So Spiritfarer.
Spiritfarer is the one that's
yeah.
going to make you cry like a baby, right?
Yeah, it's the one about
They take the
saying
animals
goodbye
on the.
to
Yeah.
dead-
Nope,
yeah.
I'm out. Nope. Sorry. I ain't doing this.
I'm sure that I think it was called Takeshi and Hiroshi That one's also looks like it's probably going to be super sad. That's the one about where you're making a video game for your younger brother,
Oh yes.
and at the very end, oh by the way, he's in a hospital bed in this scene. Oh great.
Awesome.
I
He's
wonder what
terminally
the end
ill
of that
with
game is gonna
cancer. Great.
But yeah, no. So I bought all three of those. Takeshi and Hiroshi. If I think that's the name of the game, now I'm going to look it up so I don't sound like an idiot. Yeah, Takeshi and Hiroshi. I was correct. Other upcoming games. Nothing else from the indie show. Well, there's the Red Lantern, which is I think they said is either coming out this month or just this fall. I started following them on Twitter. That's the Iditarod roguelike game.
There's that damn word again.
What was the name of Red Lantern? Timberline.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
missed
one
Poison
comes
Touch.
out.
I'm so
They
bad.
just announced the other day. They were like, "Yes, we're still working on it. It's coming this fall for sure." And yeah, right now it still just says this fall, but still, I'm super stoked. Always had a soft spot for the Iditarod.
So, so Thunder in chat actually brings up a topic of conversation we can kind of touch on is: do you think we've hit a point where there's too many games? Because
I don't think there's too many, but there are
there's a-
definitely too many to reasonably play.
well, yeah, there's way too many reasons. We went
Even
from,
if unless it's your job to play a lot of games, you're not going to play most of the games.
right,
And even then, even if it is your job, you're still not going to play all the games.
there's
You're going to have to specialize, just straight up.
right, yeah, you really do, because
Um,
we went from a time where there wasn't that many games to there are a ton of games.
You
So
could play.
many
You
games.
could basically play every important game if you wanted to at a certain point in time, but that's not true anymore.
Yeah, it depends on when you started, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think there's too many. But in the same way, there are more amazing movies out than I will ever watch. There are more amazing TV shows out that I will ever watch.
So you don't necessarily think it's a problem. It's just because
It's not
they're
a problem. It's not a bad thing. More good stuff is good.
right.
But
More,
it's also
more of
like-
the content is actually good because it means there's something out there for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Sometimes I do think that we're like, holy crap, this game came out, this game came out, this game came out, this one, and this one, and this one. I'm like, oh my god, give me like 3 months to get some catch up here. There's a lot.
That's why I don't feel bad about replaying games anymore. I already know I'm not going to play everything, so I'm going to play the things that I want.
I guess that's a good way to look at it.
And if I also am not bad about if I replay a what's Hexeye? That seems cool.
I think it's part of
It's
the
a
Tom
stack
Berries
ability. I was
thing.
just curious about it. But no, like there are
Sweet, Grudge is
I don't
great.
know. Like if I start a replay of a game and then I don't beat it, that's fine too. Like I started replaying Octopath, and I would like to finish it. I don't know if I will. I at one point briefly restarted Horizon Zero Dawn one night. I'm not probably gonna. I don't know if I'll ever pick that back up. I just did it that one night and I scratched the itch, and I think I'm fine.
Oh, that's good.
And then some games I replay and I really want to finish them, and that's like I picked Baba Is You back up, which I guess isn't a replay because I'm still finishing it.
That wasn't
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. If I start a replay of the game and I don't finish it, oh well, bummer. But I've already played it, so it doesn't matter.
And that would bring up my next question to you: is do you feel obligated to finish a game whenever you start it?
Well,
If it's a game I
yeah.
have already played, definitely no. If it is a game that I haven't played, I mean, I'd certainly like to, but if I truly wasn't enjoying myself, then no. But
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean, that's
I don't
true.
often buy games that I truly am just not having fun playing.
Right.
I've probably done it before, but I didn't finish Baba Is You, but it's a puzzle game. Like it's not the same.
Right. Like my example would be Outer Worlds and the Fallout type games. I finished Fallout 3 because I loved it, but Fallout 4 I never finished the story. One, because you guys finished it and you said the endings were not amazing, and then two, I didn't really feel obligated to finish it because it's Fallout. I played it because I got to go around and stomp stuff.
Fallout 4's story was fine, but also like that's not really why I'm there.
Yeah, exactly. Like Skyrim, I don't have to
and
finish
also
the story.
there's also like 5 different endings.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Outer
I did
Worlds is
the-
very similar to that because it's like the Fallout type stuff, where I don't feel obligated to finish it. It's just like I'm playing this because I like the mechanics of this RPG, and then I'll put it down and pick it up whenever I want to, or I just won't.
Yeah, Fallout 4 I finished, but also like whatever, it was fine. I did the canonical-ish ending. I did the one with the Minutemen.
Oh right, yeah.
But this next dungeon, I think, is where you're gonna find another maximum
Yeah, we'll get there.
Rift.
Nowadays, nowadays I feel less obligated to finish stuff. Like I've started a lot of RPGs and JRPGs. I'm like, you know what? I got out of it when I wanted to get out of it. Maybe I won't finish it.
I do want.
I should.
Yeah, JRPGs are hard, and that's why I'm really looking forward to playing some of these indie games. Is I definitely burnt myself out on long RPGs. I tried to do too much of that at once.
Yeah.
And too many of them back to back, and like I need some short projects that I can play.
And maybe that's what it is for me. It's like I really like to play JRPGs, but I've played Persona 5 twice now with 100 some hours, and I just platinum Final Fantasy X. It's like I don't want to play something else for a little bit. I really like them, but
that's
holy
if anything
shit.
why you should probably play Final Fantasy VII, because
It's like 40 hours.
Well, and also like it's got that aesthetic that you like, but it's not turn-based, it's not menu-based, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Now
just
all lathered up?
it is very actiony, and I think that's probably would be a good idea.
Maybe.
I think there might be some items and stuff in that little.
Yeah, I just gotta
town.
talk to this guy real quick.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's voiced by somebody.
Hooty hooty hoo! I'm so giddy glad I asked
Um,
you for help. We
But yeah, I'm trying to think of other little games I've played that
Talk about
I've
games
really
that are fully
enjoyed.
voice acted and went under the radar, but some AAA games that are huge franchises can't even fucking put in one voice actor. No, I'm not salty about that at all.
Yeah, you need to definitely mix it up a little bit. I think that would be good. I think I've said it before. I think that Astral Chain is definitely something you need to explore.
Man,
Because,
I liked God Eater 3 when I was playing it, but it seems like it'd be more fun playing it with people. But it's very it's anime hacky slashy, really fun.
That's Astral Chain, except there's no multiplayer, so it's just you going ham. It's got skill webs instead of just trees.
Webs
It's got,
instead of trees. It's a web.
it's like it's got that. It's there is
Can I go to that town over there? I can't remember.
I saw that. I was like, I don't remember that at all. I don't think you can go there. I think
okay.
it's just decoration.
I don't think I can. Not yet.
Yeah, you
I have to
should
press.
totally play Astral Chain. I think that you would end up really, really liking it. It's not terribly long, but it is fairly long. The only problem I had with Astral Chain is that there's only 10 chapters, but each chapter is like fairly long. Like you got to dedicate an entire play session, and you want to finish the entire chapter in one go. And that's why it's a little bit tough to play.
Yeah, I'm actually honestly looking forward to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater or remake here, because it's like short, digestible levels, like 2-minute runs. Like it, I want to pick up and play it. I got really hooked on to Enter the Gungeon for a little while because it's like 30-minute bursts. I get as far as I go, and then I drop it. And like, oh, I died.
That's why,
that was
that's
great.
why if I pick back up Octopath, it's because it'll be because it does work well like that. Octopath is 8 characters with their own stories, and each one's broken up into 4 chapters, and so like you can just sit down, play one chapter, walk to the next town, and that's your play session. And that's a great way to play that game. It's still a JRPG, but you can do it in lots of little bursts,
That's
which is nice.
JRPGs are great, but man, sometimes I'm like,
You could mix it up. I keep telling you need to play Three Houses.
I don't. That's a tile-based JRPG that I just don't want to play.
Oh man, you will enjoy it if you ever played it. You'd freaking love it.
I want a new Tactics. That would be great, but we're never gonna get one, and it makes me big sad.
I have also found since working from home, I have definitely been listening to a lot more video game music while I'm working.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I ended up starting Octopath Traveler. It's like Octopath has a really good soundtrack. I should listen to that. And then after listening for it to 2 weeks, I was like, I need to sit down and play this game. Like I need to play it. And I listen to Three Houses music sometimes, and when I do, I'm like, I could go replay that game. That would be fun right now. And I don't, and I've played it twice, and that's fine for the time being. But I have definitely, when I'm listening to music, I'm like, I could go back and play that again. That would be fun.
Yeah. I need to finish. I need to finish Final Fantasy VI. I need to finish Final Fantasy IX, and I need to finish Final Fantasy XII. It's like when I see that list, I'm like, or
just don't finish them.
I'm gonna go play Smite because
what you should do is you should listen to my YouTube playlists of hit songs from various video game series or franchises, and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna go play that game.
I need to go play that game. And
yeah, you don't. Admittedly, you won't have nostalgia with much of it. Let's see what playlists have I made on YouTube. I just made it. I realized I didn't have a Xenoblade one, so I made one today with the definitive edition soundtrack. I have an Octopath one. I had an Astral Chains one, and then that channel that had them all got taken down, and so I need to go build that one again. Because Astral Chains soundtrack is amazing. I have a Three Houses one, and I have a generic Paper Mario one, and I need to go make specifically an Origami King one.
Yeah.
Origami King soundtrack is so amazing. Like, Origami King soundtrack is just out of this world. So good.
You mentioned it a couple times, and the one thing we did listen to was actually pretty good.
I can hit you with some of the later ones, and boy, there's some bops in Origami King.
Some bops.
There are some good bops.
Some good old headbangers. This shit slaps.
Yeah. Origami King was a thoroughly enjoyable experience. I'm glad I played it. At some point, I might try and 100% it, but we'll see. I 100% of that game is going to be hard. There's a lot of little, like, get a near perfect score in this mini game, and that's the sort of thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't know. Do 1,000 squats and 100 pull-ups and call it good. Like, I don't know about that.
I'm working on getting the last collectible, which is like there's you rescue toads. I did all that. I've heard every song. That's one of them. Is just like there's like a sound gallery type situation.
Oh, so yeah. There's one.
And so like I've heard, because I beat the game and did all the stuff. I've gotten every sound, so that's good. And then there's collectibles, which are little like trophies little figures you get in game. And I have literally one left, and it's because there's a little like side mode where you can redo boss battles, and I have to go redo every single boss battle.
Yeah, there's some games that I really enjoy that I want to finish, like all of the achievements, and there's some where I'm like, not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
I platinumed World of Final Fantasy when I played it.
I haven't platinumed it, actually. I have a couple more to go, and I think there were more, like, I missed some things here and there, and stuff like that.
I platinumed the original...
I can't remember what came out right after World of Final Fantasy that made me drop it, like, after I finished the story. I can't remember. I'm going to look at when this game released, and then kind of reminisce on when the hell did... This came out in 2016? This game's 4 years old?
Yeah.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. What came out in...
Probably Horizon Zero Dawn.
In October 2016.
Either this or Horizon Zero Dawn was the first game I platted on PS4. So it's one of those two.
This hurts me. Oh my god. This hurts me hard. I can't find a good like list of things that came out. Released in 2016. Gears of War, Battlefield, Titanfall. I really can't find anything that released in the area.
Horizon Zero Dawn was 2017, though it
Yeah.
was February.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah.
Yeah, World of Final Fantasy. So what came out in November of 2016? Because I feel like, because this came out like mid. Let's see here. I think I might have actually tried to play The Witcher because I bought The Witcher, and then I never ended
Oh,
up.
that's possible.
I never ended up finishing The Witcher.
That game's a really long one anyway, so no blame there.
I liked it. Like, it was a really pretty story, but I didn't really care for the battle. Maybe because I'm old and stupid and have bad reflexes now. But, oh, no, I think I knew. Oh, wait, no, never mind. The PlayStation 4 Pro came out, and then I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro like a year later. Oh, Sun and Moon came out. Nope, that's it. Final Fantasy 15 came out. I played that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jaden played that one really late.
Yeah,
And
I
actually-
pre-ordered it, and I didn't really care for it.
I think he beat it.
I beat it, and
took a
it
while.
was an ending that happened. A lot of people really love it, but I'm like, it's okay. It's okay, game. It's so. It's not. It's okay.
Oh, that's a game you could play. Control.
I've heard that game's awesome.
Dude, I watched it, and they're coming out with some new DLC. That game is wild.
That game is fucking wild, dude. That
It
game's
is.
crazy good.
It is like... It's like... it's like a shooter, but like with elements of surrealism and
But
MC Escher and
not-
shit. Like
yeah,
it is.
fuck.
I actually kind of want to play it myself now that Jaden has beat it. It is absolutely crazy, and I would absolutely recommend.
It's gotten a lot of like attention, and
It was a treat to watch played, and the opening of the game is incredibly strong. So many games have a really weak, slow opening, and I get it. Like, it's hard to make a beginning of a game where you don't overwhelm the player with stuff they don't understand.
right.
But like, Control has an incredibly strong opening because you don't know what's going on. But the thing
But you're
that's so
there,
weirdest
and you're
about it-
having fun.
the thing that's weird about it is not only are you having fun, but like, you don't know anything about what's going on, and nobody seems to care, including your main character. And the fact that nobody seems to care is like part of it. It's so weird. I don't know how to describe it, but like, yeah, the whole I literally don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil literally anything.
I've heard it's fantastic, and I do
I-
when I get it. It's like I gotta have the time. I have these other things that I want to play, and it's just
It is
like,
not that long, and
That's
it
true,
would be
it's
a
not.
great. It would for sure be a good break from JRPGs. It's got the one thing I will say, and this is the part where I really like with Jaden. There's a part where, to put it very simply, remember how this is non-Euclidean, things don't make sense, very weird type stuff, right?
right.
There's a section of the game where you basically have to be listening to music. You have to not be listening to stuff in order to find your way through what is effectively a maze. And there is an entire sequence that is set to like a soundtrack. There's like a bunch of fights where you're listening to like a specific song by a band that was like made for the game ish, and the entire sequence of the game is like set to the soundtrack of that song, and
What
it
the
is,
actual fuck?
it is so cool because it's like this weird metal
That's
shit
wild as hell.
with lyrics. Like, it is, and there's parts of the song where it like is really crazy and actiony and you're shooting a lot of baddies, and then there's parts of the song where it's like between choruses or whatever where it's chill, and those are the sections where you're like walking to the next fight and stuff like that. It is nuts. And like, and also because the whole point was that you're drowning out the sounds you're hearing, all the sound effects of the game are like muted and not off, but like you can barely hear them. and it's so cool. It's such a crazy part of the game. So wild.
You know of Senua's Sacrifice, right?
I've heard of it.
You want a game that'll take you on a fucking ride? Play that game. Oh my god. So Dusty loves it, and he played it with his headphones on because you really want to play it with headphones on. You want to like be immersed in it.
Sure.
That game is fucking insane. That I had to take the headphones off and go, I'm done. I can't do this because
I did get to watch one of Jaden's streamer friends. One of Jaden's streamer friends finished Xenoblade the other night, and we got to watch. And she had no idea. She had never seen the ending. She didn't know anything about it. And spoilers, but Xenoblade is a like 100 plus, depending on how you play it, anywhere from
long.
like 70 to 100
Pretty
hour
long.
game, where so much shit happened. Like so many big reveals happened in the last like 45 minutes. Like.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You've told me that before. You're just
Yeah,
there's
there's
they drop shit on you and just waves.
The very, very, very end of the game. Yeah, like there's cool, crazy twists throughout the story that continuously up the ante,
Right.
but literally the last like 30 or 40 minutes where it's like you're between phases on the final boss fight is when it drops a bunch of crazy big reveals. And likewise, Xenoblade 2 has a particularly big reveal basically right at the start of the final chapter. And the final chapter is like cutscene, there's a little bit of fight, cutscene, final boss. Like the final chapter is mostly post-game.
That's
And
good.
there's a big reveal like right at the end of Xenoblade 2 that is similarly just out of this world. And you're like,
I like games that do that.
oh man.
That shit's great.
Yeah, I think what Xenoblade does well in that regard is it isn't just a sudden crazy payoff right at the end. They do a good job in Xenoblade 1 of upping the ante throughout the game and continuously making the stakes higher. Like at first, it's literally just you and your bud going out to like get revenge for a thing that happened, and that's like basically the entire premise.
I think Persona
But
5
then-
does that really well.
Yeah, Persona 5 starts off where it's just you like there's some weird things happening, but yeah, the stakes continuously go up and up and up and up,
Yep.
and so every twist and every plot point feels really impactful because it's always bigger.
It has a big weight to it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of them feels like you have significantly upped the stakes until at the end you're doing something absolutely insane. And that's good.
Yeah,
I'm all
That's
for
true.
an end game twist.
that's
but
true. Like both
Yeah.
spoilers, both of Persona and of Xenoblade, from what I understand, of Xenoblade is like they ramp up. You're fighting these normal things. They ramp up, and all of a sudden you're fighting gods because reasons.
Yeah.
Because we're anime. You know, it is what it is. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that shit's great. I love that shit. It's like, oh, yeah, fuck you. You can see me. I was a little tiny little boy, and now I'm this big gigantic monster. So cool.
Yeah. Xenoblade 1, yeah, definitely. Xenoblade 2 has less of the god fighting stuff.
It's Titans.
Yeah, but the final boss, I mean, spoilers, the final boss is who you think it is in Xenoblade 2.
Ah,
Like
okay.
you already met him.
The guy with the
it's a big-
sword who just cuts shit down.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not
I
just a
figured that.
one-on-one beat him or whatever, but like
But he's
still just
apparently
the
a
main bad
monster.
guy.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but like, fine. But they do still up the stakes, and there are some really cool plot twists. But Xenoblade 1 has an insane twist, like 3/4 of the way through the game, where a bunch of pieces start to fall in place. Xenoblade 1 also really benefits from, basically, there's a betrayal that gives replays an entirely new context. That's where I'll end it.
That's pretty cool.
But there is basically something where on replay where you know a particular character's allegiance, you're like, oh, that's what he's not being sarcastic, he's being honest, and that sort of shit. And it's nuts. So good.
All right. Well, we've been going for a recording of almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think it's a pretty good place to just call it a night. It's almost 9 o'clock for us. We got work in the morning, sadly.
I only have a little bit of work tomorrow, but
I'm only working a half day as well because I'm taking a little mini vacation. I'll be off
are you
on.
going somewhere? Or are you just
Yeah, we're going
taking
to
a
Lake
long
House.
weekend?
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
We're going to in-laws Lake House. So I appreciate everybody who's come out. I've had a couple. I've seen the view counts kind of pop in and out. I love that we have consistently 3 to 4 people all the time. It's great. The YouTube link will be in my Twitch description if you guys want to watch it later, or if you want to share it with a friend. Follow us on Twitter. I now have Joe's Twitter in my link in my stuff. There's a Discord as well. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Go look for the recording if you want to listen to us be stupid again, because it'll happen. And we'll see you next Thursday. Same time, same place.
Woo woo.
Subscribe to our Patreon to get our OnlyFans.
Yes, yes.
Like, I gotta be real. You have to subscribe to the Patreon to get the OnlyFans. And the OnlyFans will lead you on a magical journey. Take care, everybody. I appreciate it.